Hello everyone and welcome to the Animezilia. And today we'll be talking about episode 5 of the Astra Lost in Space anime series. So then, in episode 5 we leave the planet of Shamor after collecting some of the plant poles that almost killed the crew in the last episode. After all, they are edible, and I guess what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, I guess. Or, in this case, makes you full. Anyhow, the parents. We get introduced to the parents of the crew that we're currently following. And this scene was actually really good for two reasons. We get to see the emotional effects that this has had on the actual parents themselves. Or, in this case, the non-emotional effects, which I'll get to in a minute. And then we also get told a bit more information about what's happening back on the actual planet that they actually come from. So, we're told that it's been 91 days since the kids went missing. And when I say gone missing, I mean they've only looked at Mukpak. They have not looked anywhere else, not on any other planets, just Mukpak. That's where they're meant to be, so that's, all they're going to look at, really. So then, first off, Emma Spring. Now, Emma Spring's character design for me was really nice. I really did like Emma's design. One thing I will note is she doesn't look anything like Ares herself, but you know what, that's not really a big issue at this moment in time. However, out of all of the parents, she's the one who actually is shown to have the most development and the most emotion, because this thing that's happened to these kids that they don't know of has clearly affected her the most out of everybody in this room. Then we go on to Gert. Gert is actually Ugla's father, and also the principal of the school, and he's the one who's actually called everyone in. And we'll get to the reason as to why he called everyone in just a second. So after Gert, we get introduced to Jed, which is Zach's father, and he does look shockingly like Zach himself. Like all of these characters that we're now introduced to as the parents, they do show similar, almost identical traits to their children, basically. Now, I know genetics obviously states you do look similar to your parents, but for now, we're just led to believe that, this is it. That's the reason why they look similar. More on that in the future episodes to come, but don't spoil too much for people down in the comment section if you've read the manga, because it's, let them find out themselves. Anyway, so we see Jed. He seems like Zach, really. He doesn't really understand much of the emotional aspect, and he seems kind of plain and boring and to the point. Fine. And then we get introduced to Lisa, which Lisa is Yunhua's mother. Which, okay, fine. Her appearance doesn't look too bad. But her personality is something to be desired. Considering in the last episode we saw that she didn't really think much of her daughter in the first place. So I'm not too much of a fan of Lisa herself. But she is meant to be a famous singer, basically. Okay, just because I forgot to mention it earlier, I think. So basically, Yunhua has actually got a new design in this episode. And her new design actually looks really nice. You'll see it up on screen now, and I do like the way that they've styled it, and it does make this character look a lot more interesting and more appealing. So in case you're wondering who's in the background with Kanata, Ares, and Luca, then obviously that's who she is. Now enjoy the rest. And then we get introduced to Olive, who is clearly Funi's and Courtaline's mother. Just by looking at her appearance, you can definitely get that. The skin tone doesn't give it away, the hair certainly does. Okay, so moving on then, we then get Ray, who is obviously it's Kanata's father. It looks exactly like him, and we did actually get a flashback with Kanata's father in it in the previous episodes. So that wasn't too much of a reveal for us, But, there it is. But he seems to be quite logical. One thing I've noticed about in this scene is all the parents seem to have an excuse or a reason as to why Emma would be wrong. Or why is she overreacting? And then we get told that Charles's mother is Sophie, which again is another strange one because Sophie doesn't look anything like Charles at all. Yes, okay, one's a male, one's a female, but it's just a hair color. Maybe Charles's father is really, really, really light blonde or something. I don't know. And then we also get told that one parent did not make it to this meeting, and that parent is Luca's father, and he is called Marco. Nope, not the Phoenix from One Piece, unfortunately. This guy just doesn't give off any good vibes whatsoever. The reason is to, basically, he's said to be a senator, so a high-ranking government official, basically, and the reason that we're given as to why he's not there is because he's having a DNA sample, as he is somehow connected to something that could be illegal. However, he states that, the results that he's had from this test puts him in line with the law. Okay, I wonder what that was. So why do I bring all this up? Well, not only because obviously we're shown the parents, but we are told that the search for the kids have stopped. And the principal has brought everyone here because he wants all the parents to be on board with pronouncing their children as legally dead, as the government will no longer help fund the search. And, they've stated that they've looked all over McPack, minus the seas and lakes, because they're not going to go scuba diving in them. And this is what prompts Emma to be the one who's showing the most emotion. She's the one who's trying to get people to get on board with her idea of searching and going out into space, because she thinks somehow they've gone out to space, which little does she know she's actually right. But all the other parents seem to be okay with this. Apart from Emma, obviously, who, like I said, is the only one who's showing any form of emotion. And understand everyone shows grief differently, but these people look perfectly fine. There's one line in particular that both Marco and Gert basically says in this episode, and it has no emotional weight whatsoever behind it. And this was, it's as if I'm being torn apart. When they're questioned about, their feelings to losing their children, they sound just like robots and no emotion whatsoever behind any of the words that they're saying. Does raise a few eyebrows, if you ask me. Anyways, off to Airdice? The next planet, basically, is a paradise island with animals that appear to only be female, which is made into a joke later on by Coulterine, because, a perfect island with only females. Yeah, anyway. The sun's always shining, and the food is edible, and it comes in bulk. And, of course, this series does follow some anime tropes. One in particular, it has to have a beach episode. And, well, the second half of this episode is basically that, really. The whole Ares and Cartana sort of scenes, with Ares trying to find out if Cartana has a girlfriend, was nice. But you do have to feel a bit bad for Ares, as Cartana, being the blockhead that he is, he just replies with so many dumb ways, making Ares feel upset. She's so upset that she doesn't even want to do the camp log. Like, you know that's bad. But the real juicy things is not the bikinis. Unless that is for you guys, but not for me. Or the things that come from the parents. But it's the interaction between Uluga and Luca. The two seem to be getting along for the most part. Basically, since all the other crew members don't get on with Uga, Luca seems to be the one that he opens up to the most. And we learn a bit about Uga's family relations. He doesn't really like his father. He never really has spoken to him. He hardly ever communicates with any of his family that we know of at this moment in time. However, once Luca states his last name, the mood of this scene completely shifts, as a fun, filled pack sort of scenes and a picnic on the island quickly turns south as Ulga points a real gun, because we saw in the previous episodes that he has one, at Luca's head, leaving us with the cliffhanger for this episode. So, something must have triggered Luga's sort of, I don't know, memory or actions after hearing Luca's last name. What this is, we have no idea yet. However, we can kind of tell from this episode that Marco, Luca's dad, has been kind of shady, considering, you know, the whole DNA testing and the whole is it illegal and him being a government official. We know sometimes the government can be a bit corrupt. So, I'll be very interested to find out where this leads next time. But yeah, like I said, overall this episode was a load of fun. We had so much to kind of reveal to us and to look at. We had new characters come into play. We had some great animation. I do think they kind of upped the quality animation just slightly when it came up to the beach scenes. Maybe the animators just had way too much fun. But hey, I ain't being picky. And overall, it was a good laugh and a good shocking ending. I kind of did hope with this scene that we had at the end that it would kind of, I don't know, I was thinking that it would be one continuous thing, but the way that they've left it on the cliffhanger I think makes it a bit more dramatic, and it adds to the whole feel and the whole vibe of this ending. So I like the way that they've done that. I think that's very good, and it was a smart move by whoever planned out this episode. So then, overall this episode for me, yeah, I'll be kind enough and give it an 8 out of 10, because it was actually really good, and I loved the emotion that Emma showed. She actually showed the most realistic emotions that you would expect to have from a parent. Where all the others, they're pretty much on the same dumbness as Kanata at this point. Sorry, Kanata. No offense. Anyway, that's going to do it for this review. If you've enjoyed, smash that like button. I've just hit my mic. Sorry about that. Subscribe if you're new so you never miss a video from me. And until next time, yeah, that's thrown off my intro. Until next time, I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.